to the women's championship, the women's 6K cross-country championship race scheduled to go off here in about 8 minutes. Stu, what are some major storylines we'll be looking to follow here?
Yeah, the big theme of today of the top 5 teams will be whose 5th runner will be the highest. That's obviously always the theme here in cross country, but it's very apparent here in this team battle right now. You look at NYU, they currently are ranked #1 in the country. The sudden rise led by Tyler Deck Shipley, their head coach. They have a great top 4. They have a great top 5. However, you look at what they did at regionals. They were kind of chilling. Looked like they ran together. They had a 40-second split 1 through 5, which is great. However, their 5th was far from their 1 through 4. We'll need to see them tighten up a little bit there to see if they can capture their first women's national title. Carleton also strong through 4. They'll need a low stick, though. That's the big thing Carleton needs to do. They run well in the pack. They had a 58-second spread at regionals, but if they can get a low stick, that should help them. SUNY Geneseo right now 3rd in the country. Again, another great 1 through 4 at the regional meet, led by Penelope Green. 21-second spread at the region. If they can replicate that with Penelope Green up front, they'll look good. Wartburg talked with Coach Ryan Chapman. He thinks they have the best 1 through 4 in the country, and they'll need a big race out of the number 5. They have an 80-second spread at the regional meet. And finally, Chicago was your 5th-ranked team headed into this. They've been 1 or 2 kind of all year. They faded a little bit here in the postseason, losing to NYU at conference, losing to Wartburg at regionals. However, they have a great squad ready to go.
And as we take a look at the individual race, it could play out a lot like the men's race up front. This time it's going to be Fiona Smith, the athlete to watch, leading this race out early.
Yeah, she is head and shoulders above this field. It's not to say this field isn't strong, but Fiona Smith is on a different level right now, and she looks to get her first ever cross-country national title. She was runner-up last year to Cassie Parker. Jenna Gerard will be the leader for Williams. She seems to be ready to compete with Fiona and could be someone that may go with her. Natalie Bettetti out of CMS, they're ranked 6th right now, and you can't count out the West Coast schools you just saw from Pomona. Can CMS do the same on the women's side? Bettetti won the West Regional and is going to be putting herself up there to help her squad. Lexi Brown of Wartburg, they're going to rely on her. She's the Midwest Regional champion and will have the low stick if needed from them. Sarah Stevenson of Johns Hopkins, the ever dangerous Johns Hopkins, 8-time national champions. They had 2 separate three-peats, and they haven't been outside of the trophy since 2012. It's incredible. We saw Pomona be ranked outside of the top 4. Same with Johns Hopkins. We'll see. And rounding out the field, we mentioned Penelope Green of SUNY Geneseo. They're ranked 3rd right now, and we'll need a big race from her to get going.
We'll take a look at the course, the 6K course that the women will follow here, starting with a loop around the baseball diamonds. See them come through that stretch at 1K, into the woods for nearly 3K, and then back along to where they started. It's in the woods that things may be decided. We saw a lot happening in the men's race over those last 2K. Probably similar story in the women's race. Those woods are tricky, though, Stu. If you were watching coverage of the men's race, you know it's a BMX-style course. You're going up, you're going down, and a lot of those hills, you'll have to see it in the athlete's body language, but they're a lot steeper than we can tell on camera.
Yeah, you can definitely see what happened there. We went from having a pack to then all of a sudden it was individuals spread across the course, and you can see what the hills did to them. You can see what it did to the team battle. You go out too quickly like Ethan Gregg did, and it kind of hurt the rest of the field. A lot of people faded, so we'll see how this women's field goes. Fiona Smith probably will do the same thing that Ethan Gregg did, take it out and not look back.
Yeah, the first crucial part of this course is this first left turn that you can see at the top of your screen there. It funnels down very quickly, and so getting out well is important. We saw some falls early on in the men's race. I'm not sure how much it really affected the outcome of the 8,000 meter race, but we're going to see them funneling down, taking a quick left onto a narrowing course, and so keep your eyes on this opening stretch.
Yeah, you can see Carleton there in the yellow over blue. They're kind of on the left. CMS looks kind of towards the left. In the middle there in that maroon, there's Lynchburg, based on some of these jerseys. do my best here to recognize them. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds and what the race happens in the team battle. We saw a crazy team battle on the men's side, fluctuating every single split, which is, you know, likely to happen in the cross-country race given the terrain, given the course, but we'll see what happens here.
Fiona Smith here as an individual qualifier from St. Benedict, not with her team, but this really feels like her moment to shine. You have to wonder if some of the other coaches, after seeing the men's race, saw how much distance Ethan Gregg took out on the field, and if there's anybody in the field who's going to challenge her, they're going to want to limit that early lead.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key here. I think we're going to see who wants to go with Fiona, and like you said, who's going to stay back for their team. Jenna Gerard could make a plug for it. Natalie Bettetti could, but I think Natalie's thinking about her team and may not take that big of a risk.
It's a great point. It's a huge risk to get pulled out into a race with Fiona Smith one-on-one. We saw in the men's race how some athletes faded badly in that last 1K, 2K. If you overextend yourself early on this course, you're going to have a hard time getting home.
And the difference with the women's course is that big hill at mile 3, they have 1,200 meters after that. The men had a little bit of time to shake it out of their legs. It's really close to that finish line for the women.
As we approach the noon start time, it looks like the athletes are starting to take their marks here in Newville, Pennsylvania. Big Spring High School. It's 2023 National Championships for Division III cross country.
This is a great shot. You see it just funneling into that left-hand turn we mentioned.
They're on the line now, and we're underway here in the women's 6K championships.
Look at that shot. That is amazing.
The drone is back in the air. Credit to our crew out on course. Beautiful shots here as we approach that left-hand turn. The field starts to separate itself. We'll see. This may be Fiona Smith here.
In the top left there, I see a little bit of red and black that St. Benedict has. We'll see once we get a little bit closer there. It looks like someone fell down. I'm not going to recall. It looks like they think they're too far past the 100-meter mark. Yeah, we are off. You can see the field slowly coming together. That's a really great shot of seeing what the field does to anticipate this left-hand turn.
I love to see as they pass the crowd peels off and heads to the next vantage point. It's a really unique part of cross-country spectating, especially when you've got these beautiful drone shots. All right, here we are into the first left-hand bend. You really want to be kind of on the inside rail because these athletes on the outside, they're going to end up running some extra distance here, but no clear leader. It's hard to tell the jerseys from this distance, but we'll get a clearer image for you guys here really soon. But no major move off the front in the first 400 or so. But I'm assuming that's Fiona Smith up front. I'm looking for some red tinge on the jersey.
Yeah, I would assume so, that as the lead goes a little bit there as it squeaks out. You know, we're only 9 seconds into this race. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it kind of looks like that's Fiona already making her move, making her presence known. But yeah, the pack up front, it's starting to separate a little bit. You kind of see individuals kind of lining up there. Usually when the pack feels like it's a pace they can all handle, they're kind of grouped up. But now we see it stringing out early. So this could be a race where you're by yourself pretty early into the race.
Just like the men's race, there's a lot of returning All-Americans in this field. 16 All-Americans returned from last year's national championship race. Stu, are there anybody in this list of 16 that you think could make a significant jump up in place?
Yeah, on the men's side, they had a lot of top 10 guys. Now in the women's race, it's a lot in the top 14 to 20. There's 6 runners from the 14 to the 20 mark that are back. You know, you have the likes of Aubrey Fisher and Lexi Brown of Wartburg, Maddie Hannon of Lacrosse was 20th. Natalie Bettetti was 39th last year. You know, we talked to her earlier this year, and she said the cold and the snow really affected this team from California. So look for her to kind of be back up there, be that low stick for the Athenas. And the key here is, you know, if Fiona Smith wins, not that it's that big of a difference, but all of a sudden that's 1 point for the next finisher from a team. So you're kind of battling for that 1 point total, as you can now get a good look. Fiona Smith out front with a pack of about 6 athletes coming around the bend here. I maybe saw a Williams jersey in there. That probably was Jenna Gerard as they make their way through this course.
Conditions on the ground there in Newville, Pennsylvania are pretty ideal for distance running. The California schools, I don't think, at a significant disadvantage this year. It's about 50 degrees and some light winds on the ground.
Yeah, I believe that neon color that just passed your screen was St. Olaf. They like to change up their colors here at the National Championships, bring out the national jerseys. As you see, it has opened up. I think the white over red, that might be Grace Hadley from WPI, or it could be Carolyn McMartin of Central. Similar colors, but Grace Hadley is someone to keep an eye on as she won the East Regional.
Fiona Smith out to maybe a 10-15 second lead early. She didn't go off the front immediately, but she's making her presence known now. And a pack of 6 looks to be coalescing behind her. We'll see how hard they're willing to chase. They've got a decent gap over the field themselves. It's hard to tell exactly, but it's got to be at least 10 seconds from them back to the main field as well.
All right, so here's my best estimate on everyone in the field right now. We'll see when we get a split here in about a minute. But I'm going to say we have Grace Hadley, WPI, Jenna Gerard of Williams. On the left looks like Natalie Bettetti of CMS. Penelope Green is the bottom right from Senior Geneseo, and then I can't make out the 2 other runners in there. One looks like from Carleton, so maybe that's Hannah Pricer, and there's one more athlete I can't identify, but we'll get it to you soon enough. We'll see how well I do.
That was great, Stu. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
We'll have our first official split at 1 mile, which she should be approaching in the next 30-40 seconds. Fiona Smith, your early leader in the women's 6K National Championship.
See, it's deceiving because right now the course is flat. You can get out hard and not have to pay for it. And then when you go into the woods, we lose sight of you for a little bit. That's when the carnage happens. As you see, that first group of 6 really made a big gap between the next pack.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this group of 6 evolves, if they're going to chase Fiona or if they're going to kind of fall back and be reabsorbed by the main pack. But even the main pack is starting to splinter into almost thirds, you can see there. And as they cross through the timing mat here any moment, we'll start to get an idea of the team standings. Fiona Smith may already be through.
She probably is. And to give you some ideas on some newer teams here at the national meet, we mentioned WPI's Grace Hadley. This is their first time qualifying for the national meet as a program for WPI. Same with Connecticut College. Coast Guard is back for the first time in 1992. DePaul is back for the first time, our alma mater, since 2009. TCNJ won their first regional title since 2003, and they are back for the first time since 2018. Another George Fox program, their second ever qualification. Their first one was last year. This is Central's third time ever qualifying, their first since 2009, and Vassar has earned their second ever at large bid, with 2019 being the first time they've qualified. So a lot of new teams here in the meet.
Yeah, you love to see that. You know how significant it is for these schools and these programs to get back on this stage. It's hugely inspirational, hugely motivational, and sometimes it just takes one national meet appearance and you can start building a powerhouse at your school. Still looking for those results through the mile. Fiona Smith and the field are definitely through the 1 mile mark at this point. Still that pack of 6 there trailing her. She's maybe 20-25 seconds off the front at this point.
I'm going to make an assumption here, and you can't really make assumptions, but it looks like the live result website is not working. We do have a clock there on the screen, but we're going to be blind with you folks here as we go through this race. We'll probably have to see it all unfold after the race with the jumbo board, but let's hope that they have it going back in their neck of the woods.
Pretty fractured race here. In the men's race, we saw the main pack pretty well together as they entered the woods. The women's pack is fracturing early. There's that group of 6 kind of battling for that second place position right now, and then if you look towards the middle of your screen, what was the pack is starting to fracture now. Maybe 20 athletes spread across in 3 or 4 different micro packs right now, so the team scoring will be really interesting. At some point we'll go to a static camera, we'll be able to see their jerseys go by. Beautiful shots from our eyes in the sky here right now. Fiona Smith looks to be in the woods already. Reminder, the woods is a very technical part of this course. It's going to be harder to pass. The hills are steep. We'll see it in their body language as we see them come up and down those hills, but this is where the positions could really be decided.
And you wonder how much advice the coaches who had a men's program, what advice they gave to their women athletes right now. You know, sit back, wait through the hills, and then attack. You know, you don't want to get burned too early. They already had one race to understand how the course is run. As you can see our drone going through. What a great shot through the trees to get an idea of where everyone's at. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting team battle. If I was accurate with who's up in the lead there, a lot of those women have a team in contention for a trophy.
Stu, talk about what this win for Fiona Smith would mean. I mean, she's kind of spent a lot of her career in the shadows of other all-time Division III greats. We saw her shine on the track, but here she is alone off the front at the Division III Cross Country National Championships in 2023, unchallenged so far.
Yeah, the craziest stat about Fiona Smith, she's qualified for every single national meet that she's been able to, and she has yet to finish worse than 5th. So she's run some very fast times. She's run 16:05 on the track. She's run 9:25 in the 3K. 33:05 for the 10K. You know, some all-time best times in Division III. She's won 2 national titles in indoor track. 2 runner-ups in outdoor track this last year, was runner-up in cross-country last year. So I think it kind of like just cements everything that she was going after and kind of ties up her career nicely. Obviously, it's not done yet. The race is far from finished. She still has track, but I think she can start saying, hey, I'm one of the best D3 athletes. You know, can be considered up there. You're not going to say that she's the GOAT, not going to say anything like that. She only had 3 titles, only going to have 1 cross-country title.
We're going to take a look now at the 4,000-meter mark. We see the gator coming through now, and Fiona Smith should be the first athlete through. There she is, right about 10 minutes. We're going to keep the camera here to look at the gap. There's another group running in positions 2 through 7. They'll be next through your screen, and that'll be our first reveal in who's actually in that pack. We'll see how right Stu is. I think he's probably got a pretty good eye on it, and we'll get an idea of how the team competition is shaping up. So here we are once again at 3K, excuse me. We're here at 3K, and it looks like the runner-up position is coming through just about now.
Looked like Audrey McLean potentially from Middlebury. There was a gold up there. That was Bridget Hanley of Emory, so I was wrong about Carleton. There was Jenna Gerard. Missed a lot of the other runners there. There's Caroline Schultz of Eau Claire. Lynchburg. There's a Carleton, it looked like. Some more Emory and Carleton. It's hard with some of these jerseys being the same. And the darker ones too. There was a WashU, there's a Coast Guard, Chicago. You know, they switched jerseys from one race to the other. There's some DePaul Tiger Stripes, some Williams there. Some more Williams. WashU, we're just naming names I can say right now. It's hard to tell, you know, who's who out there, but giving you an idea of where things stand. We're not going to be able to see. Oh, we do have some live results. Maybe we got the green flicker up. And through the mile, it appears that San Geneseo was in the lead. Emory was in 2nd, Johns Hopkins 3rd, and Carleton was in 4th through the mile. We'll see if they update through the 2-mile marker. But wow, a shocker out of Emory. They were 11th coming into this race, and we mentioned it on our Twitter feed. They had a freshman who ran for the very first time at regionals and finished 3rd. So that's big for them.
Again,
it's early.
We're here at the 3K mark here, so we should have an update at 2 miles here for you shortly. It looks like maybe our automatic timing is back up and running, so we'll try to give you a better idea of the team championship. But the storyline so far, Fiona Smith, hard charge off the front, just as expected, looking for her first national championship win.
I'm excited to see what can happen with this team battle here if these are still accurate. San Geneseo has 124 points. 6th place has 193 points. So that's about 70 points between 1 through 6, which, as we saw in the men's race, anything can happen here as we get maybe another split at the 2-mile coming up. But yeah, NYU in contention in 5th, Wartburg in 6th, CMS in 7th. The surprise right now, maybe UChicago in 14th. Are they taking a Pomona approach and being patient? We'll see here. Emory, so far, the surprise of the meet. Maybe not the surprise for the Emory faithful.
The leaders are through 2 miles of the 2023 Women's 6K National Cross Country Championships. We'll have another split for you at 5K, keeping an eye out to see team standings populate here, and we now go live to the front of the race. A great shot here. Fiona Smith looking strong. She's past 2 miles at this point, heading towards 5K, and we'll get a great idea of her gap.
Looks pretty strong still.
Yeah, I don't think Fiona Smith is coming back to this field, but it'll be really interesting here. We saw positions 2 through 7 grouped up, but that was starting to fracture the last time we saw them at 3K, so we'll see how they come through at 2 miles, and we'll get a better ID on jerseys. All right, here comes the runner-up position into your screen now.
She crossed the screen at 13:32, so she's going to have over a 30-second lead on her. And this might be Grace Richardson of NYU. Yep, that's the Violets on there. That's Grace Richardson of NYU. Natalie Bettetti of CMS in 3rd. Grace Hadley of WPI in 4th. There's Penelope Green of SUNY Geneseo. Bridget Hanley of Emory. Carolyn Schultz of Wisconsin Eau Claire. Jenna Gerard of Williams. Evelyn Bedelson-Gunkel of Chicago. Sarah Stevenson of Johns Hopkins. Looks like Carleton has new singlets there as more SUNY Geneseo, Middlebury, the Violets of NYU start moving up. Another Chicago jersey there. Looks like Emory's 3rd is right there. Hard to tell. Another Violet right there for NYU. Trying to do some mental math here. There is 2 for Williams. Another Chicago. So it's going to be pretty close here as we come up to that 2 mile mark. Whenever the rankings pull up here, the results I should say, looks like St. Olaf lost a shoe there. Anything is happening in the woods. It's hard to tell what goes on back there. You lose a shoe, you have the hills. You can just tell on the facial expressions how tough and difficult this course is. The main pack coming through now, just past 2 miles in this race as Fiona Smith, your leader, approaches the 5K mark. We're awaiting official team splits at 1 mile. SUNY Geneseo was your team leader with 124 points ahead of Emory at 169, but we know how much things can change, and we'll have a 2 mile update hopefully here for you very soon. I wonder who's going to make that move once they get onto that flat stretch. That's where you can make up some serious ground, as you saw Pasca do. I think they're starting to learn from what happened in the earlier race. Yeah, they're probably through the hardest part of the course. At this point, we're going to kind of get back into the open fields for that last 1K. Well, they do have to go back into that small hill right by 3 mile, which can impact everything here. From the air, the whole course looks flat. Yeah. Down on the field, we have a bird's eye view of it from some people letting us know how tough and difficult the course is. It looks deceiving, they say on TV. Fiona Smith running away with it. What was her first split? We're back live to Fiona Smith here. A 5:13 first mile. Obviously, time isn't everything in cross country, but putting the hurt on people early as you see the hill coming up. That looked like it was the 5K mark. Yeah, she's through the mats at 5K now. She had about a 30-second lead the last time we saw her. I imagine that's only getting bigger at this point. They kind of, at this point in the course, are coming down a sharp downhill, back up the other side. Nice shot here of the chase pack. You can see how much it's strung out. You know, we talked about that earlier. When the pace gets a little too quick for some people, especially in the track, you can see it string out, and this is what it's doing right here. And so you need to be able to stay in contention. If you're in no person land, you got to make sure you're moving up and not feeling sorry for yourself and focus on the person in front of you. As more athletes, looks like Grace Richardson comes through with Natalie Bettetti. So that's your runner-up and 3rd place right now. Huge in the team battle as Penelope Green sprints down that hill. big team points as she moves into 4th with Grace Hadley and Carolyn Schultz. And there's Evelyn Battleson-Gunkel of Chicago. They're number 1. Bridget Hanley of Emory. Sarah Stevenson of Hopkins. Carolyn McMartin of Central. There's Jenna Gerard. There's Maddie Kelly of Chicago. Morgan Olhern. So there's 2 Chicago, 2 CMS, and 2 NYU up early there. We'll see how it unfolds. Another Emory, another Senior Geneseo, another CMS. So CMS has 3 moving on up. There's another NYU runner. I should be making tally marks, but I'm not.
Stu, are there any warning flags you're seeing from any teams where runners are further back than you may have expected at this point in the race?
Wartburg right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of Wartburg. I just saw Aubrey Fisher move up there. As you see, DePaul Tiger Stripes moving into contention. There's 2 Williams there. This is what, maybe in the 50s, 60s right now? It's hard to tell. But there's some Chicago as well. It's hard to see where they are in the pack. They had Evelyn Battleson-Gunkel up there. Chicago, was 14th at that 1 mile split. And we don't have any splits other than that. So it's, just based on pure instinct. CMS looks okay with 2 up there. NYU looked like they had 3 up there.
The pack coming through now. Fiona Smith is going to be entering the final stretches of this race here pretty soon. The women's 6K national championship race. Still waiting on some splits for you. We'll get them to you as soon as they populate for us.
You can hear the move getting up the hill. It looks like some Wartburg fans cheering their runners on. This is the last big hill.
Here we go. Fiona Smith, your national champion in the women's 8K, crosses the line now for her first cross-country national championship. 1953-54 unofficially. Congratulations to Fiona Smith from St. Benedict. She wins it with a large margin as we turn our attention now to the team championship. She probably has 45 seconds maybe over second place. We see the runner-up on your screen now at the top of your picture.
Wow, that was a championship record for Fiona Smith. There's only been one other athlete in history to go under 20 minutes in this 6K, but Missy Buttrey did not do that at a national championship, it looks like. So Fiona Smith is the first woman in D3 history to go under 20 minutes in the 6K at a national title.
And for the 3rd time this year, am I right?
3rd time this year, she's gone under 19 minutes.
So we turn our attention now to the battle for the runner-up position. This is 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your screen now, and it's Patetti, I believe, coming across in the runner-up position.
Yeah, now Patetti of CMS, that's big, with a big kick, it looks like, from Penelope Green of SUNY Geneseo, overtakes WPI at the line. Grace Hadley, there's Carolyn Schultz of Eau Claire.
Green closed really well in that last K.
And that's Sarah Stevenson closing hard, too. And here comes Maddie Kelly of Chicago. Emory will have 2 in, I believe, as looks like that's Grace Richardson at NYU kind of fading there. Here's Evelyn Battleson-Gunkel of Chicago. That's 2 for NYU, 2 for Chicago, 2 for CMS. 3 for Chicago now. There's Wartburg. Rachel Hirschkind of SUNY Geneseo finishing. That's 2 or 3 for, looks like their CMS is 4. If CMS can get 1 more here, it's going to be pretty close for them. A big kick from Wartburg, another NYU runner there as results start to pile up. CMS went 2nd, 11. Chicago's gone 7, 13. Carleton's gone 14, 16. NYU's gone 9 and 15. SUNY Geneseo 3rd and maybe in the 18, 19 range for Rachel Hirschkind. It's going to come fast and furious. It looks like the results are doing a little bit better than the men's side, as you see there. Winning by over a minute in a new course record, 1954.1.
Wow, just a dominant season from Fiona Smith, the likes of which we really haven't seen before. Her third time under 20 minutes over 6 kilometers this season. She leads it home in the women's 6K cross-country national championship as we turn our attention now to filtering out the team scores.
Yeah, they're going to come in. Don't assume anything just yet. Only 4 teams have runners across the line, so it's going to be a lot of moving pieces here as 8 teams now are through with the scoring. We're going to wait and see what happens here. Not even going to say anything. Don't want to get anyone's hopes up because it is going to change quickly and often as more teams get their point totals across. But if you're following along in the live results, it's fun to see who's jumping into certain positions as runners continue to pour across the line. Whew, it's going to be a great team battle right now as it looks very close on paper.
Stu, we still have time to speculate wildly before these become official.
We have a lot of time. We hope that we at least know that who the winner is. We know their time. We know that the results are populated, which is a good thing. We did not have that last race, so now we at least have that and can say it looks like 4 teams are going to be close. But I didn't even want to, who knows? I'm not even going to say anything yet.
We're not going to call it, but the results are populating on our screen, and as soon as they become even close to official, we'll bring those results to you.
I think it's too soon. Only 11 score, only 11 teams right now. Unless if you show it live, that can be fun.
So on your screen now, we're going to flash the top 5 teams. This is unofficial. We only have 11 teams fully scored, but as of what we have right now, Carleton with 5 runners across at 80 points, but we do expect this to change maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. With this, I wonder how much is going to, it's going to change a lot here, but based on where their 5 runners are, we still have some other people coming through. We'll wait and see. But yeah, wow.
We're provisional Carleton.
I wouldn't want to say that.
Provisional. Big asterisk provisional Carleton right now, but we still have a lot of scoring left to do. I think the timing people are still probably a little shell-shocked for the men's race, but they're getting it taken care of as quickly as they can, and we'll bring that to you live as it populates. We only have 11 teams fully scored at the moment.
Wow. I mean, a lot of the teams we talked about early on in contention here look to be, potential for a trophy. CMS talked about how, and there it is. Is this official? It looks to be Carleton is your 2023 national champions. 1 through 4 is separated by 7 points. 7 points, 1 through 4. NYU second, 154. UChicago third, 156. And CMS fourth with 158.
7 points, 1 through 4. Carleton, your national champions on the team side over NYU, U of Chicago, and CMS. Stu, have you ever seen a top 4 separated by 7 points?
No, someone actually sent us what the closest spread was, and I want to say 1 through 4, the closest spread was like 20-something points. So this might be a new record of how close it actually is.
We have those top 10 results on your screen now. Reminder, the top 4 teams are going to make up your podium, and we believe that this is the closest 1 through 4 spread that has ever occurred at a Division III championship meet.
Looks like 25 was the closest 1 through 4 it's ever been. 25 points. 7 points just separated 1 through 4. Wow. I mean, that's, you don't want to start playing games like that, but that's, one person there type of situation.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's going to keep you up at night. Carleton's first score finished 13th. NYU's finished 8th. But then it's really in those, 3, 4, 5 scoring positions where the numbers are made up. And you see Carleton on your screen now in the gold unis, your 2023 Division III national champions in the closest spread we've ever seen at a national championship meet. They were ranked 2 coming into today. They finished 4th last year, but today it's Carleton College, your national champions.
Carleton College goes from their best ever 5th. Last year, they get their first trophy ever in 4th to now win a national title. Before last year, they had never won a trophy, and now they won a national title. Insane. What a great year for them.
And they did it without a number 1 runner in the top 10.
Wow, you're right. Carleton's first, here they were. Carleton finished 14th, 16th, 41st, 46th, and 62nd. Their 1 through 5 split was 48 seconds.
Wow.
Only 2 All-Americans.
Only 2 that's extremely rare to have a national championship team with only 2 All-Americans.
NYU finishing behind by 3 points had 3 All-Americans, 9th, 15th, and 37th. Their spread was 61 seconds. UChicago had 3 All-Americans. Their spread was 65 seconds. And Claremont CMS had 3 All-Americans as well. Their spread was 86 seconds.
An unbelievably close race here on both sides of this cross-country national championships. If you're just turning on your TV for some reason, Carleton, your national champions on your screen there.
How did you miss this? Why are you just turning on your TV now?
Why are you just turning on your TV? Over NYU, who finished 2nd, University of Chicago in 3rd, and CMS with 158 points, only 7 points off the win, but no, they didn't finish 2nd, they finished 4th.
We talked with Donna Ricks, the head coach of Carleton College, and I said, what's going to be your message? And she says, I'm just going to say, champions figure out how to get stuff done, and they do. Wow.
On the men's side, there was an 11-point spread between teams 1 and 3. On the women's side, only 7 points separated 1 through 4. Stu, we talk about it a lot, unprecedented depth in Division III distance running right now. I think that was borne out on both sides of the championship. I know there's a lot to condense here, but I'm going to ask you to do it. What are some of your main takeaways from this morning's races?
We said it was going to be a close team battle, one of the closest ever, and it is. The men's side, they win by 1 point. 7 points separate 1 through 4 on the women's side. We're in a new era of D3 running where it's deep teams, strong individuals, and we're seeing it right now happening here. Incredible performances from everyone that competed here on a very tough course. There's not, times are irrelevant, but it shows on a tough course, there were still some pretty quick times, upsets, favorites, you name it, we had it.
It was an incredible morning of racing. Stu and I calling it from Indianapolis. Thank you for having us. Live pictures from Newville, Pennsylvania at Big Spring High School. We've crowned our national champions. On the men's side, Ethan Gregg, your individual national champion. Pomona Pitzer, your team national champions. On the women's side, it's Fiona Smith, your individual national champion. And it's Carleton, your team national champions. An amazing morning of racing. Thank you for joining us as we step away from the 2023 Division III Cross Country National Championships.